Welcome to NFL Nexus, the place where we really get into the nitty-gritty of what makes football teams tick. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the Green Bay Packers front office because, folks, they are facing an absolute monster of a decision. We're talking about two star players, two gigantic contracts, and a choice that is going to define the future of this team. This isn't just about who gets a jersey next season. Oh no, this is about the entire philosophy, the very DNA of how this franchise is going to operate. It is a high-stakes chess match, believe me, and every single move could lead to a checkmate or a disaster. So you're going to want to stick around for this. And hey, if you love breaking down the X's and O's of team building, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what we've got coming up.
All right, so let's set the stage here. The Packers are in a situation that pretty much every GM in the league has nightmares about. On one hand, you have this incredibly talented young player, an absolute burner, who fought his way back from a career-threatening injury, and now he's looking for a contract that says, I'm one of the best. And he's got a point. But on the other hand, you got a veteran leader, a guy who's been a cornerstone of your defense. The problem? He comes with a massive, and I mean massive, price tag. And his production on the field, well, it started to dip in a way that's making everyone in the building a little nervous. It really is the ultimate battle between rewarding what a player has done versus betting on what a player is going to do.
You know, at its core, this whole thing is about the #1 villain in every NFL front office, the salary cap. It's this constant, relentless tug of war, isn't it? You've got a player's ambition, their totally understandable desire to be paid what they feel they're worth, and then you have the cold, hard, unforgiving math of that salary cap. It's all about trying to fit Super Bowl dreams into a budget. In today's NFL, your accountant is almost as important as your quarterback. A GM has to be a financial wizard, trying to guess who's going to be great in 3 years while making sure the lights stay on today. This is exactly where championship seasons can be won or lost before a single ball is even snapped.
And let's be crystal clear about something. These are not just names being moved around on a spreadsheet. The choice the Packers make here is going to send a ripple effect through that entire locker room. It's a signal to everyone about what this franchise values for the next half-decade. Are they the team that stays loyal to their guys, the ones who've been there, or are they shifting to a much more, let's say, ruthless, what have you done for me lately kind of model? It's a fundamental question. So let's start with the player who might just be the face of this new direction.
So on one side of this equation, you have wide receiver Christian Watson. And his story, man, it's something straight out of a movie. We are talking about a guy with God-given speed and size who faced down a brutal, career-altering injury and somehow came back better. He didn't just get back to where he was, he completely evolved his game. He proved to everybody, the coaches, the fans, the league, that he is a true #1 wideout, a guy you have to game plan for every single week.
And you see it right there, in his own words. There's no ambiguity, no playing it cool. Watson has put his cards right on the table. He's not just chasing the biggest check. He wants to build his legacy in Green Bay. For him, this isn't just a business negotiation. You can tell it's personal. He wants to be a Packer for his entire career. And when a player comes out and says that publicly, it puts a unique kind of pressure on the front office. The fans hear that, and they expect you to get a deal done.
Just look at this timeline for a second. It really tells the whole story. January, a torn ACL. That's one of the most devastating injuries in sports, an injury that has ended so many careers. But what does he do? He attacks his rehab like a man possessed. He's living in that training room, just grinding away. And the result of all that blood, sweat, and tears? He doesn't just make it back to the field. He comes back and has the best season of his entire career. That right there, that character, that work ethic, that's what gets you paid the big bucks in the NFL.
Now let's talk about these numbers, because 611 yards, yeah, it's a nice number, but the context is everything here. He put up those yards and 6 touchdowns in only 10 games, all while coming back from major knee surgery. That is absolutely incredible. Let's just do some quick math. You project that over a full 17-game season, and you're looking at a guy who's well over 1,000 yards and is scoring double-digit touchdowns. It's proof positive that when Christian Watson is on the field, he's not just a good player, he's a legitimate star who can take over a game all by himself.
So, from a business perspective, his timing couldn't have been more perfect. He's walking into that negotiation room holding a royal flush. He's got the performance, he's got his youth, and he's proven he can overcome serious adversity. That gives him all the leverage in the world. It's no longer a question of if the Packers will pay him, but how much they're going to have to pay him to keep this rising star in that iconic green and gold. And you know what? He's earned every single penny of it.
Okay, but here's the twist. As one star's light is getting brighter and brighter in Green Bay, another one seems to be dimming. Over on the defensive side of the ball, a completely different story is unfolding. It's a story that's a lot less about heroic comebacks and a lot more about cold, hard numbers and declining production.
And the player right in the middle of this financial storm is veteran pass rusher Rashawn Gary. His situation is a textbook example of the brutal, unsentimental business of professional football.
Okay, look at that number, $28 million. That right there is the giant elephant in the room. In the NFL, a player's cap hit is basically how much of the team's total budget their contract takes up for that 1 year. And a $28 million cap hit for one player who isn't your quarterback, that is a team-crippling number. It handcuffs you. It prevents you from signing other good players to fill out your roster. It forces GMs to ask a really tough question. Is this one guy really worth such a massive chunk of our entire pie?
And here is where the really cold calculus of the NFL comes in. If the Packers were to release Gary, it wouldn't be a clean break. They'd still have to pay out over $17 million in what's called dead money. Think of it as a penalty for breaking the contract early. But, and this is the critical part, making that tough decision would instantly free up almost $11 million in spending money for this year. That's $11 million they could use to sign 2 or 3 solid role players. Or maybe that's the money that goes directly into funding a long-term extension for a certain star wide receiver we were just talking about. See how it all connects?
The problem is, it's not just about the money. The financial pressure gets so much worse when you look at his performance last season. It was truly a tale of 2 seasons. He started the year on an absolute tear, just wrecking offensive lines. Through the first few weeks, he looked like the dominant force they paid him to be. But after that big game against Pittsburgh in late October, he just disappeared. He went completely silent. To go the entire second half of the season, week after week without a single sack, for a guy with that contract, that's not just a red flag. That's a 5-alarm fire for the front office.
So when you put it all together, the huge salary and that shocking drop-off in production, the conclusion becomes pretty obvious. That's why you see respected national guys like Matt Barrows at The Athletic already calling him a prime candidate to be cut. It's gotten so clear, in fact, that you're hearing whispers that other teams desperate for a pass rusher like the San Francisco 49ers, are basically just waiting by the phone, ready to make a call the second he becomes available.
So when you put these two stories right next to each other, you realize this is so much more than just 2 players. This is a defining moment. It's a crystal clear statement about the Green Bay Packers' entire team-building strategy, their vision for what this team is going to be in 2026 and for years to come. They're basically showing the whole league their playbook for building a winner.
I mean, this table just says it all, doesn't it? It's all right there in black and white. The contrast is just staggering. You've got Christian Watson, a player who's clearly on the way up, a guy who blew away the expectations of his cheap rookie contract through pure performance. And then you have Rashawn Gary, a player who seems to be on the way down, who just isn't living up to that massive contract he signed. It's the perfect storm of opposite forces, and it's basically forcing the Packers' hand. It's a tough choice, but from a pure strategy standpoint, it almost seems like the only choice.
So what this all really boils down to is a major philosophical shift in Green Bay. They are sending a very loud, very clear message to everyone in that building and around the league. It's all about what you give us for every dollar we pay you. It's about production per dollar. They're showing they'll happily break the bank for young, hungry players who are on the rise, but they'll also be completely unsentimental about cutting ties with big-name, expensive veterans who aren't justifying that cost on the field anymore. It's a value-first approach, plain and simple.
And that leaves us with the big, final question, not just for the Packers, but for every team trying to win a Super Bowl. In this modern NFL, with this unforgiving salary cap, is this kind of cold, calculated, almost ruthless focus on value the only real way to build a champion that can last? Is the road to a Lombardi trophy paved with these kinds of tough, even unpopular business decisions? I really want to know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you agree with this strategy? Is it just smart team building? Or is it unfair to a veteran player? Let me know. And hey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to NFL Nexus for more deep dives just like this one. Also, a quick shout out, if you're looking for a fun gift for a young football fan in your family, or maybe even just for yourself, check out our new coloring books. They're perfect for kids, grandkids, and adults who are kids at heart. You can find the link right in the description or just scan the QR code that's on your screen now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.